All right, here we go. Please label your notes. 1 and 2 step inequalities. 1 and 2 step inequalities. We're gonna start off with the easy ones first, and then we'll get to the hard ones. We'll start off with 1 step inequalities first. And all that means is this. Let's say that you have x, really easy example to begin with. X plus 2 is less than or equal to 5. Well, if there was not an inequality in this, you guys would say, okay, well that really means x plus 2 equals 5. You would subtract 2 from each side. You would say x is equal to 3, right?
Yeah.
You do it exactly the same way. You do everything exactly the same way. You're going to subtract 2 from the left. You're going to subtract 2 from the right. The plus 2 and the minus 2 cancel out. The 5 minus 2 get you 3. The only difference between what I did over on the right with the equal sign and what you need to do here is that your answer has to have an inequality symbol in it. So it reads x is less than or equal to 3. When you graph this, you go to 3, you put a circle there. Do I color it in or do I leave it empty?
You color
it in. It says less than or equal to 3. So I'm going to shade everything to the left of 3. And remember yesterday I talked quickly about when you do the shading, throw an X over the top of your shaded region. And the reason I want you to do that, you will understand more tomorrow. Actually, when I'm not here, there's going to be some problems that they're going to get a little bit more complicated than this. And I think it will be helpful if you have labeled your shaded region with an X. Okay, are we okay with this? Probably not very bad. Or we're probably not too bad. Yep,
Sure.
okay. I'm going to move on to a different one. Let's do x divided by 3 is greater than 5. X is being divided by 3. How do you get rid of divide by 3?
Multiply.
You multiply by 3. So you multiply the left side by 3, which means, of course, that you have to do the same thing on the right-hand side. You multiply by 3. So x will be greater than, what is 5 times 3?
15.
It is 15. X is greater than 15. On a number line, locate 15. I'm going to put 0 here, 15 here. I'm going to locate 15. I'm going to put a circle there. Do I color it in or do I leave it open?
Leave it open.
Leave it open. It's greater than 15. It does not include 15. The next question is, where do you shade?
You go
Away from 0.
You're going to, away from 0. You're going to shade to the right. Shade everything to the right. Everything greater than 15. Another example. This one's a little trickier. Negative 3x is greater than, let's do 15.
Wouldn't you just plus 3?
Nope, you don't add 3. It says negative 3 times x. You divide by
Negative
3, so I divide the left side by negative 3. I divide the right side by negative 3. So, what is 15 divided by negative 3?
Negative 5.
So we have a negative 5 over here. We still have our x, but because I had to divide by a negative number, what must I do to my inequality symbol?
Flip the sign.
You have to flip it. That's the trickiest part about today is flipping, remembering when to flip the sign. So it seems like I said that 100 times earlier in the day, but I kept getting the same question over and over as the day went on. So I just want to say it. Please listen to my words right now. When you are solving one of these inequalities, if you have to multiply or divide by a negative number, you need to switch the direction of the sign. If you do not multiply or divide by a negative, you don't switch the directions. Can you remember that?
Sure.
Oh gosh, I gotta go back to that. We gotta graph this. X is less than negative 5. So I go to -5.
Wouldn't -5 be on the other side?
Well, you can put it wherever you want to. Your problems today will have the number lines already drawn for you.
Okay.
So here's 0 over here on the right. -5 is there. You shade everything to the left of -5.
So I just shaded the opposite of you shaded it.
Okay, so we've got some work to do there. So we said less than, so you got to shade to the left side of -5. All right. Let's move on to some that have 2 steps in it. Let's go into 2-step equations. Let's do this. 2x plus 4 is less than 8. What do?
Subtract 4.
Subtract the 4 first. So you're left with 2x. The 4's cancel out. Is less than 8 minus 4 is 4. And then you divide both sides by 2. So x is less than 2. Here's 0. Here's 2. X is less than 2. So you put a circle at 2. You shade everything that is less than 2.
The square.
Yes.
Since you divided by 2, wouldn't you divide by a -2, not normal 2?
Is the 2 negative?
No.
The 2 was not negative. I divided by a positive 2 to get rid of that 2. Since I divided by a positive number, I don't change the direction.
But wouldn't you divide it by a -2 because the top one's positive?
No. We want the 2's to go away. We want there just to be a 1x left over. So if it says 2 times x, I divide by 2, so the 2's cancel out. 1 doesn't have to be positive and negative. Because if I took a 2 and divided it by -2, I would get negative x. A positive divided by a negative would get me negative. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alright. Let's do negative x divided by 3 plus 4 is less than 2. What do you do first?
Subtract 4.
You have to subtract the 4. Yes, subtract the 4 first. Always get rid of what's added or subtracted before you get rid of what's being multiplied or divided. So first of all, I'm going to subtract 4. Then I have to subtract 4 from the right. So I am left with negative x over 3 is less than 2 minus 4 is -2. Now, it says negative x divided by 3. I want to get rid of divide by 3, but I also want to get rid of that negative sign that's in front of the x. How do I get rid of the negative sign in front of the x?
Just do -3.
Got to do another negative. So in this case, I am going to multiply by a -3. I'm going to multiply by -3. Now that the 3's will cancel out in that regard, and so will the negatives. I had to multiply by a -3 because I'm going to take a -3 times 1 over -3. I want the negatives to cancel out. A negative times a negative gets me a positive. So all I'm left with is an x. I multiplied the left by -3, which means I have to multiply the right by -3. -2 times -3 is +6, but I also have to do what? Switch the sign. So x is going to be greater than a +6, so then when you graph it, you go to 6, you put an open circle, and you shade everything to the right. Everything bigger than 6. You ready to try some?